Imagine living in a land rich with natural gas, gold, copper, and vast mineral wealth, yet your people remain among the poorest in the country. For decades, this region has witnessed armed conflict, disappearances, military operations, and a growing demand for self-rule. Some call it a fight for freedom. Others call it terrorism. So what is the truth? Why has Balochistan remained one of South Asia's most disputed regions for generations? And why does this conflict continue even today? Welcome to Tasma Universe. In today's documentary, we'll explore the history of Balochistan, the roots of the independence movement, the role of natural resources, and why this conflict remains one of the most complex issues in South Asia.
Balochistan is one of the most historically significant regions in South Asia. It covers nearly 44% of Pakistan's total land area, making it the country's largest province by size. With an area of around 347,000 square kilometers, it is more than twice the size of Bangladesh. Its capital is Quetta, and the province shares borders with Iran and Afghanistan, giving it enormous strategic importance. For thousands of years, this region has maintained its own cultural identity. Ancient Persian texts, Greek historians such as Herodotus, and later historical records all mention the lands inhabited by the Baloch people. In 330 BC, Alexander the Great marched through this region during his campaign into India. Over the centuries, Balochistan came under the influence of various empires, including the Persians, the Mughals, and later the British. Yet despite these changes, tribal traditions and local leadership remained remarkably strong. Their identity would survive every empire and eventually shape one of South Asia's longest-running political conflicts. Unlike many parts of British India, Balochistan was not ruled entirely through direct colonial administration. Instead, Britain governed much of the region through agreements with local tribal leaders and the Khan of Kalat. This indirect system allowed Britain to maintain influence while avoiding costly conflicts with fiercely independent tribes. A famous British saying captured this strategy: rule the Punjabis, frighten the Sindhis, buy the Pashtuns, but respect the Baloch. Whether completely accurate or not, the quote reflects Britain's understanding that the Baloch placed immense value on tribal honor, land, and autonomy. Many Baloch soldiers later served in the famous Baloch Regiment of the British Indian Army. When British India was partitioned in 1947, the future of Balochistan became uncertain. The Khanate of Kalat initially claimed independent status and signed a standstill agreement with Pakistan. However, in 1948, Kalat became part of Pakistan. Supporters of Pakistan view this as a lawful accession. Many Baloch nationalists argue that it happened under political and military pressure. This disagreement became the starting point of decades of unrest. The first armed rebellion soon followed, and it would not be the last. Balochistan is incredibly rich in natural resources. It contains major reserves of natural gas, copper, gold, and other valuable minerals. Yet many local communities argue that they have not benefited proportionally from these resources. Baloch nationalist leaders accuse the central government of extracting wealth while investing too little in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and employment within the province. Pakistani officials reject many of these accusations and point to development projects and security challenges as reasons for the province's slower progress. This disagreement remains at the heart of the conflict. Several separatist groups have emerged over the decades. The most well-known is the Baloch Liberation Army, or BLA. The group says it is fighting for Baloch self-determination and independence. Pakistan, along with countries including the United States and the United Kingdom, has designated the BLA as a terrorist organization because of attacks targeting civilians, security personnel, and infrastructure. The conflict has resulted in thousands of deaths over the years. Each new attack is followed by military operations, making peace increasingly difficult. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have repeatedly expressed concern over allegations of enforced disappearances, arbitrary arrests, and extrajudicial killings in Balochistan. Pakistani authorities have denied many allegations, or argued that security operations are necessary to combat insurgent violence. Because access to some areas is limited, many claims remain disputed. One of the biggest developments in recent years has been the construction of Gwadar Port under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC. Supporters believe the project can transform Pakistan's economy. Critics argue that local Baloch communities have received limited economic benefits while facing displacement and increased security measures. This has further intensified tensions. Today, Balochistan remains one of South Asia's most complex geopolitical conflicts. It is a story shaped by history, identity, natural resources, security, and competing political narratives. Whether the future brings greater autonomy, reconciliation, or continued conflict remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the story of Balochistan is far from over. If you enjoy deeply researched documentaries on history, geopolitics, and world affairs, subscribe to Tosma Universe and join us for more stories that explain the world beyond the headlines.